Picture this. You're 7 years old, playing in the backyard with your brother, laughing like nothing could ever go wrong. Then, one day, the laughter stops. Your family's got this big, invisible hole in it, and no one's talking about it. Questions pile up in your head like storm clouds. Where's Dad? Why'd he leave? What did I do? If that hits home, you're not alone. Millions of us grow up with that ache, that terrible feeling of not knowing. Hi, I'm Alex, and today I'm pulling back the curtain on my life. This is the story of over 7 years without a father, the silence that nearly broke me, and the day I finally found the truth. It's messy, it's emotional, and it's real. They call it the best worst day of my life. Stick with me for the next 15 minutes. You might just find a piece of your own story in mine. Let's get into it.
These stories are based on real-life incidents. Names, locations, and certain details have been changed to protect privacy. The purpose of this content is for awareness and informational storytelling only. We do not intend to target or defame any individual, group, or organization.
Growing up, my world was small but full of family, at least on the surface. I had one older brother and 2 half-sisters. We were this little crew navigating life together in a house that felt both cozy and tense. But when I hit 7, everything changed. It was like a shadow fell over us, and no one acknowledged it. My brother, who was always my buddy, the guy I'd wrestle with, share snacks with, tell dumb jokes to, suddenly shut down. He became so closed off, almost miserable inside. You could see it in his eyes, this deep sadness. But he was a master at hiding it. He wouldn't let it show to the world, you know? He'd put on that brave face, but at home, it was different.
Communication? Forget about it. I'd text him something simple like, hey, want to hang out? And crickets. Days, weeks sometimes, no reply. Birthdays rolled around, no calls, no gifts. If I sent him something, maybe a card or a little present, he'd barely acknowledge it. The only time he'd reach out was when he needed something, a ride, some cash, advice on something random. It felt so one-sided, like I was chasing a connection that wasn't there anymore. It hurt, man, really hurt. Because as a kid, your older brother is supposed to be your hero, your guide. But he was dealing with his own pain, I realize now, from the same family mess.
Thankfully, things got better for him later. He moved away to start his own life, build his own path away from the drama. And that's when he met his girlfriend. She's amazing, fantastic, lovely, kind in every way. The type of person who just makes everything brighter. She takes care of him now, especially when the family can't. When he's down or needs support, she's there. I'm so grateful for her because she stepped into that role, filling gaps we couldn't. It's like she became the anchor he needed. But let's talk about the real void, the one no one ever mentioned, my father. For more than 7 years, he was just absent, gone, like he never existed in our lives. And trust me, a lot of people know that feeling. It's terrible, this heavy weight on your chest that never lifts. Questions swarm your mind constantly. Where is he? Is he okay? Does he think about me? Assumptions creep in too. Maybe he's far away. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe something bad happened. But in my house, it was complete silence. The topic of Dad never brought up. Not once. It was like an unspoken rule. Don't ask, don't tell. If the subject ever came close, and honestly, I never directly asked because I was too scared, Mom had her go-to excuses. You never asked, she'd say, like it was my responsibility as a kid to dig up family secrets. Or, I was protecting you, as if keeping me in the dark was some kind of shield. And then there was be grateful. Be grateful for what we have, for the life she's given us. And I was grateful, don't get me wrong. Grateful for the home, the meals, the love she showed in her own way. But gratitude doesn't answer the questions. It doesn't stop the wondering. The need to know was always there, bubbling under the surface. Yet I kept quiet. I never asked anyone, not mom, not my siblings, not even a teacher or friend about where he was or what happened. I just carried it all inside, letting it build. Home life wasn't smooth either. Mom had her moments, and the strain showed. She'd blame me for small things, a forgotten chore, a bad grade, even accidents like spilling something. It turned into yelling, loud and intense, over stuff that seemed minor. If I asked a question about anything, not just Dad, she might not answer at all, ignore it completely. But then, if I went silent to avoid rocking the boat, if I stopped talking altogether, she'd get mad about that too. Why are you so quiet? Why don't you ever open up? It was confusing, frustrating, a cycle I couldn't escape. I felt like I was always wrong, always walking on thin ice. Despite all that internal turmoil, I never voiced the big question. Never asked about Dad's location or why he left. It was too scary, too big. That silence, that not knowing, it started to destroy me from the inside out. I began grieving the situation, this deep, ongoing grief for a father I'd barely remembered. It wasn't like losing someone to death. It was worse because he was out there somewhere, alive, but unreachable. This period was when everything spiraled. I quit sports, the one outlet that used to make me feel alive. Soccer, basketball, whatever it was. I loved the rush, the teamwork, the freedom. But suddenly, it all felt pointless. Why bother when my mind was elsewhere? Friends started fading away too. I'd make excuses not to hang out, isolate myself. I'm busy, I'd say, but really, I was just lost. And sleep? That became a joke. Nights were endless, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, mind racing with scenarios. What if? Why? It was all downhill from there, a slow but steady decline in every part of my life. The breaking point came during an argument about the whole mess. It built up over time, this tension, until one day it exploded. I finally cracked under the pressure. The emotional release was physical too. Hyperventilating, struggling to breathe, chest tight like a vice, tears, panic, the works. I could barely get air in. It was terrifying, but in that moment, something shifted. It felt like finally escaping a cage I'd been locked in for years. The weight lifted just a little, and I knew I had to find answers. Soon after, I made contact with my Nana, my grandmother on Dad's side. Turns out she lived near where my brother had moved. What a coincidence, right? Or maybe it was meant to be. The day I connected with her was intense. So much crying. Hours of it. Ugly sobs that left me exhausted. I call it the best, worst day of my life because it was both devastating and liberating. The truth started pouring out, and it hurt, but it healed too. Even after that, the emotions didn't stop. I kept crying, stayed upset for days. Being a Pisces, I feel things deeply. Emotions hit hard and linger. And Mom, she just didn't understand, couldn't grasp why I was so wrecked by this. But through Nana, I learned the essentials. None of the family on Dad's side talked to him anymore. They'd cut ties completely. The reason? His past behavior, cheating, getting involved with drugs, being totally out of control. It was all directed at the family, not me personally, but it explained the absence. Plus, he has bipolar disorder. I'm not sure if he's recovered or managing it better now. That's still a question mark.
A few weeks before I shared this story, back on August 16th, 2021, I finally called him. Just once. One conversation that I'll never forget. He answered, and we talked. He expressed how sorry he was to everyone he'd hurt. Genuine remorse in his voice. But he also explained why he can't come back. His current situation, the absence, it's all consequences of those past actions. He owns it, knows he can't fix it with a simple return. And then there was this other revelation. There's potentially another sister out there somewhere. Another sibling, probably going through the same hell I did. The questions, the grief, the silence. If you're listening, Chealsea, I love you so much. More than you know. I know it's unlikely you'll see this, but putting it out there feels right. You're not alone.
Despite all the pain, the complexity, here's the moral of my story. You don't know till you know. That's it. We spend years assuming, fearing, avoiding, but once you seek the truth, it changes everything. It's empowering. So, my message to you, just live your life. No holding back, no regrets hanging over you. Believe in God. Find that faith, that higher purpose that guides you through the tough stuff. Ask that crush out. Yeah, the one making your heart race. Go on dates. Feel the excitement. Make those connections. Do jumps on your bike. Feel the wind, the thrill of the moment. Eat cookie dough right from the bowl. Life's too short not to indulge.
And if you want to know about your absent father, go find out. Even if you have no desire to live with him or stay in contact. Just know, from my experience, reaching out, telling your story, it might not feel amazing right away. It might take time with more tears and upset, but eventually it does. It feels incredible. Live with no regrets. Let me circle back to that early change, because it's key. When my brother shut down, it wasn't just him. It affected all of us. His misery was quiet but palpable. Hiding it took strength, but it created distance. Texts unanswered, gifts ignored. It built walls. But his girlfriend changed that dynamic. Her kindness is like a light. She cares for him when we can't, reminding me that good people can heal wounds.
Mom's excuses replay in my head. You never asked, but kids shouldn't have to. Protecting you. From what? The reality? Be grateful. I was, but it didn't quench the thirst for truth. The blaming, the yelling over small things, it made home feel unsteady. Questions ignored, silence punished. I never asked about Dad, but the need screamed inside. The grief was gradual but crushing. Quitting sports left a void, friends' loss meant loneliness. Sleep deprivation made days blur. All downhill, a slide I couldn't stop. The argument, words sharp, emotions raw. Cracking meant hyperventilating, but also freedom, escaping the silence. Nana's connection near my brother, perfect timing. Best, worst day. Crying floods, but truth emerged. Upset lingered. Pisces feel intensely. Mom didn't get it. Family cut ties for good reason. Cheating betrayed. Drugs destroyed. Out of control, harmed. Bipolar adds complexity. Hope for recovery. The call? Sorry echoed. Consequences explained. No return. Another sister, Chealsea. Love you forever. Moral? Don't know till you know. Live fully. God, crushes, dates, bike jumps, cookie dough. Find truth, no regrets. Telling feels amazing eventually. Reflecting more, absent fathers leave scars. Society sees it. Therapy helps. Support matters. My story inspires, especially in #GirlsInspire, family, grief/loss. Viewers, live boldly. Thanks for joining. Subscribe for more real stories. Peace.